Dear students, in the previous module, we have discussed the concept of patriarchy. In this module, we discuss the principal theories of patriarchy. As I told in the previous module, that patriarchy theories are classified into two broad groups. That is, one is traditionalist patriarchy theories and new economic patriarchy theories, which also includes the capitalist patriarchy theory and current working hypothesis of patriarchy. Among the traditional patriarchy theories, religious patriarchal theory, especially which believes in male dominance, that is the patriarchy and men power, men as a dominant is God given. They believe in this concept that male dominance is God given. Another important traditional patriarchy theory is biological determinist theory, which believes in a principle that man is the hunter and dominates and woman supports man. Other important traditionalist theories of patriarchy are Darwinian social biology and evolutionary biological theory, which generally believes that male dominance is because of their physiological advantage over female. Another sect of the Darwinian social biology theory is androcentric sociologists or socio-biological school of today. Among the modern theories, the economic theories of patriarchy, cultural constructive social biology view, and working hypothesis or capitalist patriarchy theories or the new patriarchy theories. So we look at all these 6 broad classification, 3 each, 3 in traditional patriarchy theories and 3 new or modern patriarchy theories. Among the traditional patriarchy theories, the first is the biological deterministic view. Biological deterministic view is basically originated from the work of Marvin Harris. Marvin Harris is an anthropologist. He proposed that because most men are stronger than most women and survival in tribal groups required hand-to-hand combat. So during the early civilization period, men became the warriors and women became the reward to that. Hence, men risked to their lives in the battle. Thus, gradually gave power to men to control the women. So, he believes that the traditional life, the early civilization life, which went through a lot of hardship to earn the livelihood or bread, where men used their physiological advantage, or since as biologically they have more muscular compared to women. So they have dominated hunting, gathering, as they describe this as women is the hunter and woman is subordinate. So he believes that hunting capacity of men put over women, that gave the male dominance in the society. The biological determinist view strongly believes in the concept of the sex and gender. According to this particular view, biological deterministic view, sex denotes the human females and males depending on biological features, chromosomes, sex organs, hormones, and other physical features. Whereas the gender denotes women and men depending on the social factors, social role, position, behavior, or identity. The main feminist motive for making this distinction was to counter the biological deterministic view or the view of biology in the destiny. Biological determinism is basically seen in the works of the Giddens and Thompsons and their book The Evolution of Sex in 1889. Especially their concept on anabolism, the constructive metabolism, which is also called, and the catabolism, which is also called destructive metabolism. They described men as the anabolism and constructive metabolism, whereas the female is a catabolism, a destructive metabolism. The constructive metabolism, basically they have referred to men as their dominant, and women are fragile, and they are referred to as the destructive metabolism. This gave the male dominance in the society according to them. In 1970s, sex differences were used to argue that women would not become airline pilots since they become hormonally unstable once in a month and therefore unable to perform their duties as well as men. This is just one example of the Giddens and Thompson's work on the evolution of sex, particularly described within the concept of anabolism, catabolism. The women's fragility based on their physiological disadvantage is described in the form of like how they are sensitive to the economic functions. The next important, the theory of the origin of patriarchy is Darwin social biology, or which also called evolutionary social biological theory. Social biologists use genetics to explain social life, including gender roles. According to social biologists, the patriarchy arises more as a result of inherent biology than social conditioning. Steve Goldberg, in his book Inevitability of Patriarchy, which advanced as a biological interpretation of male dominance, explains that patriarchy is inevitable as there is a basic genetical difference between male biology and female biology. And this male biology, female biology, which led to the difference in the different functions of male and female. Male dominance he describes as a human universal as a result of our biological makeup. He described that the biological advantage of male has put them in an advantageous position compared to female. As a part of social biological theory, there is also explanation from androcentric biologist who says there is an androcentric biasness in the interpretation of male and female sex. Male view as a norm for all people. They say that female can behave like a man, but men cannot behave like a female. Female can take privilege of behaving in a masculine way and follow masculine traits, but the other way is not possible. As a result, they say that privileging of masculine traits over feminine traits. They advocate the privilege of masculine traits over the feminine traits. For example, the description from this one figure can clearly depict this particular attitude. That is, girls can wear jeans and cut their hair short, wear shorts and boots because it is okay to be a boy, but for a boy to look like a girl is degrading. It is undermining their role because you think being a girl is degrading, an insult for a masculine personality. Another important social biological view or evolutionary biological theory is the Batman's principle of human sex roles. Bateman's principle on human sex roles basically deals about the variability in reproductive success in a greater in males compared to females. They see greater reproductive success for male compared to female. Females almost always invest more energy into producing offspring than males, and as a result, females are resources over which male compete. So, female are important preference in selecting mate in which males control more resources to assist her and offspring. So, female is a property for which male has to compete and rule over that particular sex. Wherein the modern economic theories or modern theories, economic theories are the major theories which explain the economic grounds of origin of patriarchy. The view of male doing outside chores and women doing household chores is seen through civilization as a man is the hunter and women is a subordinate. So the society has been always described as a man and hunter society or man and hunter world. Emergence of radical and socialist intellectuals like Friedrich Engels, who describes women becomes men's property since the origin of the private property. And the origin of private property basically started with the evolution of agriculture. As long as societies were hunter-gatherer societies, both male and female used to involve in earning bread or gathering bread or gathering their livelihood. But the moment the men realized that they can cultivate certain crops, then domesticate certain animals, slowly they started procuring the surplus food and surplus materials of livelihood, and thus the settled agricultural life has started. This settled agricultural life is led to the surplus production, and surplus production slowly led to the private property and private procurement. Men started controlling certain animals which has been treated to be a superior, and his masculine powers comes under the limelight, where origin of private property is gave men to compete for their counterparts or their partners, life partners. This led to men competing for their female counterparts or female life partners. Thus the way men got control over female, and settled agriculture also is the first step of division of labor, where men started doing household chores whereas the women are settled at the household chores. Women started looking after the household core children and looking after protecting the surplus agricultural product and house and other household needs by settling at household. Later, using a few hints from Marx and researches of the anthropological pioneer Lewis Henry Morgan, evolved a synthesis which traced the emerging class differentiation and man's successful control over private property and surplus as base for both emergence of state and male patriarchal family and control over it. The another important modern theory is cultural theory or constructive social biology view. According to sociologist Cynthia Epstein, the difference between the behavior of males and females are solely result of social factor, nor biological or social biological. Specifically, socialization and social control from the childhood are important ways of inculcating the patriarchal culture, patriarchal traits and behavior. Anthropological records show greater equality between the sexes in the hunting-gathering societies, which is evidence that as long as the civilization is primitive, the men and the inequalities between different sexes are less. As the culture progresses, as the socio-cultural traits emerges, we have seen greater divide between the roles of men and women, which lead to gender inequality. Roles of both men and women were less rigid in the hunter-gatherer society or pre-civilization societies. The types of work that men and women do in each society are determined not only by just biology, but by the social arrangement. This is what the cultural and constructive social biology view is about patriarchy. It also sees that gender-based division of labor serves an interest of men, because men enjoys more powers in this division of labor. Biology causes some human behaviors, but they are related to reproduction or differences in body structure rather than the weak or dominant relation, the divide between weak and dominant. Especially the work of Emile Durkheim on the division of labor in society is clearly describes about this particular view. The current working hypothesis proposed by Gernot Lerner is a more formal, more organized way of explaining the origin of patriarchy. According to her, patriarchy may even had a different origin in the different places. So patriarchy is not just started at a point, rather it is evolved over the time and evolved with the civilizations, and it also differ with the different geographical locations. It differ for different societies with the different religions and different socio-cultural attitudes. Gernot Lerner argues that male dominance over women is not natural or biological, but the product of an historical development began in the 2nd millennium BC in the ancient Near East. Patriarchy was established historically, so it can also be ended by historical process. That's what she mentioned in her creation of patriarchy. So the patriarchy evolved historically, and it can also go only through historical process. Lerner also explores such a fascinating question such as what can account for women's exclusion from the historical process. She has extensively researched on this particular question. What actually led to women's exclusion? What are the processes which led women to women denied powers to women in the historical process? What could explain the long delay, more than 3,500 years, in women coming to consciousness of their own subordinate position? She failed to understand the till now the particular process of what actually led to the women's subordination. But this particular hypothesis continued to be working by her. Gender analysis to ancient Western civilization to explore the basis for patriarchal gender relations is one of the important points which need to be mentioned here. So what is the actual difference between the traditional versus the capitalistic patriarchy or modern capitalistic patriarchy theories? The traditional patriarchy theory basically more focus on the biological differences and the early the formation of social functions, and basically restricted to explaining the patriarchal control within the household, at the household level and at the household division of labor. But the capitalistic patriarchy basically focuses on even women is coming out of the household and entering into the workforce and coming to the workplaces, but still she was discriminated at the workplaces, and there is a gender-based occupational segregation where women is mostly entering into the low-paid and low-profile jobs compared to men. Women has been given lesser importance at various workplaces, and her work is lesser valued. So this is what the capitalistic patriarchy all says about. In capitalistic patriarchy, basically which has roots in Marxism. Marxism evolved under explicitly feminist analysis women are seen as the perpetual servants of capitalism, the one who could be infinitely exploited by the language and functions of capitalism, as Smith pointed out. Women who have no access to economic resources comprise the category of proletariat, who generally do not do unpaid domestic work and childcare. Women even doesn't have their control over their earnings. Even women is earning, the decision to how to spend the earnings are taken by their male counterparts at the household. So that's what in the modern terms is called as a capitalistic patriarchy. But there is also view of called socialist view. In a socialist view, a real mix of interrelationship between capitalist patriarchy and traditional patriarchy. There is another view called socialist view, which is a real mix of interrelationship between capitalism and patriarchy as expressed through the sexual division of labor, particularly in her paper by Einstein. Socialist view that patriarchy believes that inequality between sexes is due to male sole control over economy, and it keeps sexism, racism and classism as central tools of gender oppression. So patriarchy operates in an intersectional form. It operates not only through in gender norms, but when it is intersects with the racial discrimination or class discrimination, the female disadvantages become more degraded. So overall, we learned that there are 6 major theories of origin of patriarchy. 3 are from traditionalist view and 3 are from modernist view. However, the most prominent patriarchy theories are widely discussed patriarchy theories for today's context are the economic theories of patriarchy, especially the work of Frederick Engels and Lewis Morgan, and also the work of Gernot Lerner and our working hypothesis, and also Gilla Einstein's the capitalist patriarchy theory, which you people need to read in elaborative way. So here are some of the suggested readings are The Capitalistic Patriarchy and Caste for Socialist Feminism by Gilla Einstein is an important book. Also, the book of Origin of Family, Private Property and State by Engel is another important book. Then Lerner's Origin of Patriarchy is another important piece to be read, and the Walby's Theorizing Patriarchy is an important literature one need to be looking into. So we will deal more on the consequences of patriarchy in the coming slides. So thank you. We will please also look at the other modules to more understanding of patriarchy, and particularly patriarchy can be clear only when you look at module number 18 and 19 together in one go. It will be good for your understanding.